London is hemorrhaging residents, and the numbers that just came out are catastrophic. 347,000 people fled London in the last 18 months. That's the population of an entire city, gone. The capital that spent 5 centuries as the world's most desirable city is now watching 12,000 residents pack up and leave every single week. These aren't tourists or students going home. These are permanent residents, British citizens, families who've lived here generations, all reaching the same conclusion. London isn't worth it anymore. Let's start with the reality nobody wants to talk about. London's population has gone into reverse for the first time since the Black Death of 1348. After decades of growth that saw London hit 9 million residents in 2020, the momentum has completely collapsed. Office for National Statistics data shows net domestic migration is now negative 347,000. That means more British citizens are fleeing London than arriving, and it's accelerating. The government doesn't advertise these numbers because, frankly, it looks terrible for a world capital to be emptying out. But council tax records, GPD registrations, and school enrolment data tell the real story. Between January and November 2024, an estimated 420,000 residents left London permanently. The only reason the population isn't collapsing faster? International students and refugees replacing British families. But even they're starting to leave. The biggest reason people are leaving is simple. London has become mathematically impossible for anyone who isn't in the top 5% of earners. And even they're getting crushed. Let's talk rent first because it's absolutely insane. A 1-bedroom flat in Zone 2, think Clapham, Brixton, Hackney, was running about £1,200 monthly in 2019. That same flat today? £2,400. That's a 100% increase in 5 years. 2-bedroom flats families need have gone from £1,800 to £3,800 in decent areas. Want a house with a garden for your kids? £4,000 minimum, and that's in Zone 4. Salaries haven't kept pace. Not even close. The average London salary increased maybe 15% over the same period. Most people got 0 raises or below inflation adjustments that don't cover anything. Here's what that means in practice. A mid-level professional making £45,000 annually, which is above UK median, used to spend 30% of take-home pay on rent. Today, that same person is spending 70% of their paycheck just for shelter. After tax, they're taking home £2,800 monthly and paying £2,000 for rent, £800 for everything else: food, transport, clothes, savings. It's impossible. Transport costs have exploded. A Zone 1 to 3 travel card was £2,000 annually in 2019. It's now £2,800. That's just to get to work. But here's the hidden cost: time. The average London commute is now 74 minutes each way. That's 2.5 hours daily, 12 hours weekly, 600 hours yearly. You're spending 25 full days per year just commuting. People are moving further out to afford rent, but then spending more on transport and losing their lives to commuting. Zone 6 might be cheaper, but when you're spending 4 hours daily on trains and £3,000 annually on travel, you're not saving anything. You're just dying slowly. For families, London has become impossible. Childcare costs more than university. Average nursery fees are £2,000 monthly per child. That's £24,000 annually. After tax. For one child, schools are a nightmare. Good state schools are oversubscribed by 10 to 1. You literally need to live within 200 metres to get in. But houses near good schools cost millions. Can't afford it? Private school, £25,000 per year, per child. A family with 2 kids needs 3-bedroom flat, £4,000 monthly. Childcare or school fees, £4,000 monthly. Basic living costs, £2,000 monthly. That's £10,000 monthly just to exist. £120,000 after tax. You need to earn £180,000 before tax. How many jobs pay that? The birth rate in London has collapsed, down 34% in 5 years. Families are fleeing or never forming. The city is becoming a temporary stop for 20-somethings before reality forces them out. Crime has exploded while policing has collapsed. Knife crime up 43%. Phone thefts up 300%. You can't walk with your phone out anymore. Women don't feel safe. Sarah Everard, Sabina Nessa, Zara Alina. These aren't statistics. These are women murdered just trying to get home. Every woman in London has a safety strategy now. Keys between fingers. Fake phone calls. Never walk alone. But even safe areas aren't safe. Hampstead had 17 burglaries last month. Chelsea had knife attack in broad daylight. Nowhere is immune. The Metropolitan Police is in special measures. That's government speak for completely broken. Response times for emergencies average 52 minutes. For non-emergencies, they don't come at all. You report crime online and get a crime number for insurance. That's it. The NHS in London is dead. GP appointment wait times average 3 weeks. Need to see a specialist? 6 months minimum. A&E waiting times average 8 hours. People are literally dying in waiting rooms. Private healthcare? Sure, if you can afford £300 for a GP visit and thousands for any procedure. Health insurance that actually covers things? £5,000 annually for basic coverage. Dental care doesn't exist on NHS. 9 out of 10 dentists won't take NHS patients. Private dentist? £300 for a checkup. Need actual work? Thousands. Mental health services? 18-month waiting lists, while London has the highest depression and anxiety rates in Europe. London is the loneliest city on earth. Studies prove it. 9 million people, and nobody talks to anyone. The community is dead. Your neighbours don't know your name. Local pubs closed. 3,000 in last decade. Community centres sold for flats. Churches converted to climbing walls. Dating is impossible. Everyone's too broke, too tired, too stressed. Average age of first-time buyers is now 41. How do you build a relationship when you're flat sharing at 35? Friendship groups dissolve as people flee to other cities. Your university friends? Gone to Manchester. Work colleagues. They last 6 months before moving. Everyone's temporary. Nothing roots. Who's replacing the British exodus? International students paying £40,000 annually who leave after studying. Tech workers on temporary visas. Ultra-wealthy foreigners who don't live here, just park money. London's becoming a hotel, not a home. Transit point, not destination. The soul is dying as communities are replaced by temporary residents with no stake in the city's future. Schools are emptying of British children. Some primary schools are 90% international students. Not diverse, temporary. They leave after a few years. No continuity, no community. The city is hollowing out. British culture, Cockney accents, local traditions, all disappearing, replaced by generic global city that could be anywhere. London's losing what made it London. People aren't just leaving for cheaper rent. They're leaving for lives. Manchester offers 60% lower costs with similar salaries. Birmingham gives you a house for the price of London room. Edinburgh provides culture without crushing costs. But many are leaving the UK entirely. 43,000 Londoners moved to Dubai last year. Spain got 67,000. Australia, 38,000. They're not coming back. Remote work broke the London trap. Why pay $2,000 for a box in Zone 3 when you can work from a beach in Portugal for $500? Why commute 2 hours when you can walk to a local office in Bristol? The calculation is simple. In London, you exist. Elsewhere, you live. People are choosing life. London's in a death spiral it can't escape. High costs drive out residents. Fewer residents means less tax revenue. Less revenue means worse services. Worse services drive out more residents. Repeat until collapse. The city needs $8 billion annually just for basic maintenance. But tax base is shrinking. Businesses leaving. Retail's dead. Oxford Street is 30% empty. Office occupancy at 40%. City of London Financial District is emptying. Banks moving to Frankfurt, Paris, Dublin. Brexit killed London's EU business. Technology fleeing to Amsterdam. What's left? Tourism? Down 40% from pre-2009. International students? Visa restrictions killing that. Financial services? Singapore and Dubai taking that. Tech? Dublin and Berlin winning. London has no plan except hoping rich foreigners keep buying property they don't live in. That's not a city. That's a Ponzi scheme. And Ponzi schemes always collapse. London is dying. Not dramatically. Not obviously. Just slowly emptying of everyone who made it worth living in. The teachers, nurses, artists, entrepreneurs, all leaving or already gone. What remains is a hollowed-out investment vehicle for global capital, a theme park for tourists, a temporary stop for international students, but not a home, not a community, not a place to build a life. The exodus isn't slowing, it's accelerating. Every month breaks new records for people leaving. The city that survived the plague, the Great Fire, the Blitz, couldn't survive greed. Nobody wants to live in London anymore because London doesn't want anyone to live there. It only wants your money. And once you realise that, leaving becomes the only sane choice.